9 holes, real conversations, and a little bit of competition along the way. Today I've got Simon Samardzic, owner of Simon Property Co., one of the fastest growing agencies in the Macarthur region. We'll be talking about how discipline in sports translates to business, how authenticity still wins in sales, and how Simon's built a brand that puts marketing and family at the center of it all. This is ForeTalk.
Thanks for having me on board. Let's go.
My pleasure. You're up.
You put the pressure on me first.
Dang, he can swing.
Just on the right of that cart path.
So you were a semi-pro tennis player before getting into real estate, right out of high school. What did that kind of life teach you about business and where you are today?
It's a very routine life, very disciplined. As a young kid, you're sort of training constantly to, put a lot of effort into something to see the result later. In real estate, it's very similar, right? So we do a lot of client work first. We do a lot of giving our time, helping, assisting, doing the transaction, securing the sale, but we still don't get remunerated or paid until 3 months after the whole process. Everything's settled and whatnot. So now you take it back to tennis. He was training like every day, 3 to 4 hours, 3 to 4 hours to prep for the tournament, play the tournament, then reset, and learning the obstacles of what you call a failure or a loss. You didn't just stop there. You go, okay, well then you pivot and go, well, why did I lose? Or why did I not win that match? Or why did we not get that business? Or every day you're just self-evaluating and trying to align, adjust, and constantly moving. And I think if you have an open mind like that, you're never not learning. And that came from a big background from tennis, I feel. Because some days you feel great, and we're human, you can't feel great every day. So when you're not feeling great, you still got to try and show up somehow and put the energy in and just repeat it day in, day out. And there's no real end.
Yeah, so a lot of it just comes down to reflection, self-evaluation.
It does. Like, I'm pretty big on that now coming out of the sport, because obviously you're older and you realize the path and journey you've gone through. I started playing tennis at 5.
Yeah, wow.
And then from 5 at 10, 9, 10, state champion, and then representing Australia at 10. And then you're on this journey already. You're in the elites of the state, even the country, to represent Australia and travel and nationals. You're already on this path of looking for success. Yeah. And with that, it comes, again, there was no going out with friends. Like, we went to school together. Yeah. And like, we're just connecting now.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. Small world.
Yeah, it is. But in general, like, there was no time for friends after school. It was dedicated to training, tournaments. You were already drilled to a certain destiny and path. And you set goals to try and reach and achieve, which that now I find comes into business now, right? You're constantly leveling up, and when you level up, well, then you've got to go, okay, where are we heading next? Yeah. So I think both the sport and business is very similar.
You're just paving the path for yourself. How'd you get into real estate in the first place?
You know what? I was just sick of being out in the sun, and no, honestly, like, I was always a hands-on, very active person. Yep. And I was, tennis coaching whilst I was in that transition, because obviously that's all tennis, and you teach the craft. Yeah. Then I've always had interest in property, building. I wanted to become a builder or whatnot. So I did a bit of concreting, labouring with family and whatnot. I just stumbled across. I always had interest. I'm always researching, looking, and I was looking at property for myself. I had a little bit saved, and one step led to another. I went to Seek and sort of thought, look, we've got no real qualifications in going to uni, but what I liked was an untapped potential. Yep. Made an inquiry, got my first job out at Liverpool. Yep. And it just started from there, really. Especially during that period too. What year was that? Ooh, about 15 years ago now. Yeah. Quite some time ago. But again, like, I think the work ethic, always wanting to learn, eager to learn, sort of paved the path to where we're here today. So. You mentioned wanting to get out of the sun. That's why you chose real estate. Yeah. Then you still door knock, so. You know what? I look, obviously got to start. It's a starting point. Yep. But I'm not doing that at the moment. Now business just comes to you from the relationships over the last years, 10 years. Yeah, look, reputation obviously as well. Doing right by clients, they spread the word, and consistency gives a consumer confidence. Yeah. And it helps. But yeah, look, starting from the ground up, your door knocking is one part of the business that's cold, right? Yeah. To get noticed. Yeah. But then it's how you take that journey moving forward, I find. How you deal with the rejection. Yeah, well, at the same time, you're constantly getting told no, and having that discipline of no, I'm going to keep going. Yeah. Again, came from sport, right? I guess that's also golf, right? Yeah. you want to be good, but you keep turning up wanting to play more.
Yeah. Story of my life. Yep. We're using that one. It was right down the middle. So real estate is a pretty competitive game. What separates Simon Property Co from the rest of your peers and I guess other agencies in the area?
I guess it's overall built on my values as an individual, always as a person, right? I obviously do it differently. I try to think of myself as not being your typical salesperson that's constantly hounding and pressuring for business. Again, it comes with authenticity, the genuine care of the client, right? And making sure no shortcuts are taken. Like, you will get a lot of people ask, can you do things cheaper and whatnot? We advise them, doing it cheaper can always happen, but you're reducing quality.
Correct.
Again, if they don't understand, investing in the right marketing, right exposure, the only detriment is to them in the long run. And if anyone is offering out there, in competitiveness, in discounts, well, look, discounts are great as a favor, but I always look at it, well, something discount is not wanted.
Yeah,
correct. Anything on the Bunnings shelf that's reduced and discounted, no one wants it.
Yeah, they're trying to clear stock.
Yeah, correct. Yeah. So I'm always weary of that and how you want to position yourself in line. Yes, we understand some people go, we only see the value in that. And that's why there's so many brands out there between cars as well. In the automotive industry, you got cars all do the same job.
Yeah.
You can buy a car for 30 grand or you can buy one for 300,000. But they all give a different journey and a different level of care. And being a boutique agency, we are on top of everything. We genuinely know what's happening, that extra level of service and care. Or let's say in hospitality, right, out of convenience, you've got McDonald's, produce the most hamburgers and whatnot, but you're not taking your wife there for an anniversary.
Yeah, definitely not.
You know what I mean? So we try to treat that as our fundamental. Is we don't need to sell the most, but we want to sell for quality. And our repeat customers, we're always selling above average and sort of packing a punch for a what we call is a non-franchise company in our local market. So it shows you can do it without having brand name backing, but just need quality service and local knowledge and overall consistency. Showing up every day and showing that you are consistent, because no matter what, if you're not consistent, whether you work for a big company, I find a lot of agents start at big companies because they can sort of hide under an umbrella, but everyone sort of forgets who's that individual agent. I sold Ray White, but I forgot who the agent was. And they're only there for 2 to 3 years, and they end up, once they start being like a solo individual, they either end up going out on their own or becoming contracting selling agents, because they realize that in our industry, it's your client base. People know you as the agent, and that's what I've helped create. Obviously in our office, yes, it's Simon Property Co. I created Simon in that base, but then we have young agents now that are contractors to say they're actually creating their own market share within themselves and getting recognized as their own. So it's, I guess, shows, again, going back on consistency and quality that separates us, I feel.
Yeah, beautiful, great answer. So you've built one of the fastest growing agencies throughout the whole Macarthur region. What's been the biggest driver for that growth?
I think once your name's on the door, right, it means everything. But not only that, it's the team, right? Having the right people on board, everyone's got the same goals, everyone's got the same incentives. It helps. Because you can't just conquer alone. I've worked for many companies. I've worked for, your franchise. I've worked for Ray White's. I've worked for smaller companies until I realized, I built momentum at another smaller individual company, and I realized everyone was just saying like Simon. It almost felt like I owned that place by just doing and creating anyway. So then I thought, well, I might as well do it myself solely, right?
I feel you.
I think once you have that confidence, it just comes out and shows, and when it's your own baby, you make sure it works.
You go extra hard.
Always. It's a hard place to find when you're always working under someone and you don't know if you're at the right place, or, you come up with an idea and it gets squashed. You know what I mean? Or they feel like you're trying to get too big for the business. But now everything you do is for right intentions. Even it was still then, but someone was there to block it.
It's just like that saying, the never outdo your master is, I think, the theme for businesses like that.
Let's see if we can go 4 from 4. Oh, fuck, a little bit to the right.
Real estate is typically known to be a flashy kind of career, but you've taken more of a grounded approach. We mentioned authenticity earlier. How does that kind of play a part in the way you do business, and how has it benefited, life around you?
It comes down to your core values as a person, I feel.
Yeah.
One person told me, this guy's a billionaire, I was fortunate to meet him. He said, no matter what, you give someone with money, it amplifies their real self. Because there's some people with money out there are humble as anything and willing to help.
Yeah.
Well, then you got the ones that come into money and get money and they just become arrogant and
young rich.
Yeah, but I still think, like, if you've been brought up with, again, coming with values, some sort of alignment, faith as well, to go, you know what, just genuinely be good for like people. You don't treat anyone differently. Like, you know, it makes no difference. Even though I rock up in a suit or whatnot at Oran Park, or all the cleaners, we talk every morning, or the security people. Like, it's not like, oh mate, you're just a cleaner or whatnot. You just acknowledge everyone. And I've been taught that as a kid. Like my parents, it's Mr. and Mrs. You know, and I think in new generation obviously just looks at the screen and they see the end line of what all these people are and just want to get there. Yeah. And they're so entrenched in that, but just losing that core value of just appreciating who you're with, because whoever you meet open like so many different doors. And I think that impact you leave with someone. And as kids, my parents always used to get compliments. Oh, your kids are so polite. It's hi, Mr. and Mrs. Thank you. Just common words.
You know what? I think that just comes down to the era that we were brought up in, because you know my sisters and I were raised the same way. And then when we approached different family members or distant family friends, you'd still call them auntie, uncle, and everything else. What nationality are you? Croatian. So you know,
it's family orientated. Again, like I think how you portray yourself as a person is much bigger than, doesn't matter how many digits you got in your bank account.
100%. I agree with you. That's the
like
realist.
I honestly, I've met some people locally that, you know, have some nice homes and really think they've clocked it. But then just as people, you're like, man, I don't care how much you've got, I don't want to associate with you. I've met some really well-off people, fortunate to be connected with a few. Then you just see and you're like, actually, like he acts a lot more humble, and this guy probably could buy everyone. Honestly,
this whole place.
Pretty much own probably all of Harrington Grove type scenario. But again, they don't need to show off for it. They're just happy within themselves, and they do it for themselves. If you're doing it for others, you're doing it for the wrong intentions. If I buy myself a nice car and then I want that person to see me drive a nice car, you're doing it for the wrong reason.
You do it because you like the car.
You do it because you like it. It's your hobby.
Shot.
Nice. Nice. All right.
It flies so low.
Yeah, I was like, damn.
And that was a great shot. That's what I want. That's right at it. Get in the hole.
Yeah, the bucket in the hole. It's in the big hole.
So you mentioned before that marketing is a make or break almost in this game. How's that changed your business, and what kind of partnerships have you kind of strived for within the industry to be able to achieve what you have within that kind of segment of the market?
Marketing for real estate shifted completely. Even with how we're showcasing properties now. And I've been doing this for a while in my media team. I've been working with the crew for probably over 12 years
Nez?
now. Yeah, Nez. So I get a lot of people approaching me wanting to do work because they see the portfolio of property. I think it's a collaboration between both, right? And I value relationships. I'm that type of person, right? And we just know how things are rolling. But then that's in the property side of things. And now it's self-marketing too, because I find everyone's on their phones now. And you touched on door knocking, right? Well, it's digital door knocking. Right?
Legit.
So your online reputations, your resume, I think people can see your authenticity through it. I feel people even like it's moving so much further than just photos. Before we just post a photo. Now what we're doing now, right?
It's a completely different beast.
We're talking. People want to listen to what you have to say, see what you're thinking, and you know, some people then may vibe with it and go, you know what, actually, my perception of that person's changed because now I'm listening to that person. And I think once you realize that, you're sort of now seeing, like I've seen a few companies that work for and work with don't do marketing, and they sort of just, you don't see them. And out of sight, out of mind, no one knows who you are. And I feel if you're not leveling up on the marketing game or being noticed, you will be left behind. Like, it's constantly evolving.
100%.
Who's hitting first?
I can go.
Oh, fuck. Thanks, bro.
Can I?
Yeah. I'll just put that there just in case.
You've gone from top agent to business owner to now rapidly expanding in the region. What does staying the course mean to you in business and in life?
I think it's always reevaluating where you're at and where you want to be, and that's got to be collective goals, whether it's business, family, and everything. Because it has fast tracked. Because honestly, the goal I set myself to be in this position I am today, I didn't think I would be in this position until 6 to 7 years into the business, and that has made me think a lot quicker. And I think without having that open mind that you need to think and move and adjust and align wouldn't allow for growth. You can stop growth from happening as well, I find, if you're not ready for it to come in.
Agreed.
So now it's opened my eyes that actually, sky is really the limit. And maybe have I pushed a little bit, set a pretty low goal to start, because the first goal was to just get up and running and eventually move into a shop front, maybe 5-6 years down the track. We're going to our second shop front now in the space of 3 years. And, a rental portfolio that's naturally grown, I thought would take 7 to 8 years. We're there in 2 and a bit. And I'm like, oh crap, okay, now, and I think again, reevaluating and seeing how quick it's moving, you're constantly on the pulse. You have to be.
You have to be.
And then just set the next target. So some decisions I've had to make, forecasting the growth. So I think even manifesting it too happens, like taking the opportunity of the space in Oran Park. I have to make that decision only 9 months into starting the business, which is a big commitment. New shopping centre, big lease, but everything just
caught up.
I do believe that if you set the target, you'll meet it. Another person saying, like, if you got nowhere to go, you're just going to fly with the wind. But if you have direction, no matter what course you're going, like through storms or whatnot, you're going to navigate through it. You have your eye on the direction.
You have your North Star.
Correct. You're going that same direction. Whether in a day or two it's been a bad day, but you're still moving forward, because the end goal is that destination. And I think if you're not set up like that and just hopeful for things to fall into place, I don't think it'll work out.
Beautiful, man.
Thank you.
Let's do this home.
So that about wraps it up for this episode. Simon, thanks for joining us.
Pleasure. Thanks for having me out, of course.
Mate, anytime. Really appreciate it. We ended up shooting 2 over par, probably our best score yet within our group. Ambrose, best ball. So we used a lot of Simon's drives and Brendan's as well, and I was here for the vibes. Cheers, guys.
All good. Thank you.